Hello there guys, this is Dino Man here, and CollectA has released some of their 2018 figures. If you could not tell by the title, that is what I will be reviewing or looking at today. So first up is their Mantellisaurus, which I have never heard of before. So for all the dinosaurs that I've never heard of before that CollectA's making, because they often do that, I've done some very light research on them, so if any of the information I say about them is wrong, feel free to correct me. But if you could not tell by the shape of the hand, this Mantellisaurus is a type of Iguanodon. I'm not sure how closely related to Iguanodon it is, but is a kind of Iguanodon. And this one's in a very interesting pose. It's in a drinking pose, which is very interesting. I don't think anyone's ever done that before. Now, that is nice because it's a pose that no one's done before, but however, it doesn't work very well for playability. Because, like, I probably couldn't use this in Yacht Island because it's kind of would be hard to imagine this thing walking around in that pose. But still is a very nice figure, and I might get it just because of how good it looks and the fact that it is in a drinking pose. So it has this nice green color. The detail looks pretty good, but it's kind of hard to tell from this particular image because this is as zoomed in as I could get. But it's this green with all of these browns, and then it's got this red underneath the eye, which is very interesting. And I think this figure looks very nice, and I probably will end up getting it. Next up for CollectA for 2018 is their Sciurumimus, which is very interesting. I didn't know what Sciurumimus was, but I'd heard the name before. So basically, Sciurumimus means squirrel mimic, and it has that name because it has a very fluffy tail, which as you can see here, CollectA have indeed made fluffy, which is important because that is where it gets its name from. Now, Sciurumimus, this figure, it looks really small from this image, but it's not. It's going to be about 5 inches long or so. So it's not a tiny figure. And it's on a base, which CollectA often do, but this one actually seems to have detail on it, which is very cool because most of CollectA's bases thus far have not been very good. In fact, some of their bases had plants carved into them, but the plants weren't painted for whatever weird reason. But it looks like they're kind of stepping up now, and they're now adding more detail to the base. And Sciurumimus was at first thought to be an early megalosaur, which would have been very interesting because that would have been the first time that feathers had been found in the non-Coelurosaurian theropods. However, it was then reclassified as an early Coelurosaurian, but very closely related to the megalosaurs. It was an early megalosaur, is what I meant to say. So that would be interesting. That means that megalosaurs might have had feathers, but it's still kind of like hazy. But anyways, oh wait, there's one more thing I forgot to mention. We've only found one specimen, and that is a juvenile. And the juvenile, because it was a juvenile, we don't know how big Sciurumimus could get. We have no idea. But anyway, getting to the actual figure, it's this lovely, kind of like a reddish color with this gray, kind of like undertones. Got some light black. It's got a black eye like CollectA often do. It looks very nice, and I probably will get this because it looks very nice to me. And one more thing before I go is, I remember King Baryonyx was saying how the tail was a little long. I forget if the tail was long or if the tail was thick, but it looks thick because it was very fluffy, and its tail was actually very long. So even though it does look kind of weird, it is actually accurate, which is kind of surprising. Now, the other 3 figures from CollectA are all deluxe figures, so they're kind of on the larger scale. So first off, we have their Iguanodon, which looks very nice. This is 1/40th scale. So it's this nice green color with kind of like these blacks and brown dots. I like it very much. It reminds me, I forget what Iguanodon it reminds me of. I think it's the one from Disney's Dinosaur. But it does look very good. It has its mouth open. You can see its tongue there. It looks like a very nice figure. I don't know what it is about it, but there's something about the head that's also very appealing to me. I might end up getting this one, but I don't know. We'll see, because it definitely won't scale very well with other figures, because it is 1/40 scale. Well, maybe it'll scale good with the 1/40 scales, but not necessarily with a ton of others. But definitely will be very interesting to see how this figure looks in life. Next up for CollectA is their 1/20th scale Estemmenosuchus. So again, this is going to be kind of a larger figure because it is a deluxe. But this is another creature that I've never heard of before. So I did some light research on it, and it appears to me as though this is like an early stem mammal. So like it's closely related to stuff like Dimetrodon and Gorgonopsids. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I got. But look at how weird this thing is. It's got like this bone jutting off to the side. It's got like these weird horns, and it's got fangs. But then overall with the colors, I really like the colors. I know some people don't. It's this nice green color with this brown. CollectA seemed to have that kind of color scheme going with this year, for this green with this brown, and I personally really like it. I think it looks nice. I probably will end up getting this figure just because of how weird this thing is. I mean, I still can't get over just how bizarre it looks. It really does look very, very weird. And the last figure for CollectA that they have released so far is their 1/20th scale Dunkleosteus, which I think looks very nice. Now we have like 3 Dunkleosteus that have been made by the companies. We have the Safari Limited one, we have the Schleich one, and now we have the CollectA one. So, and they all have their own ups and downs. The Safari one is yellow, and that makes it very bright and stand outish, which if you like that, then get it. The Schleich one looks very old and battle scarred, and then this one looks a lot like the Dunkleosteus from, what was it called? Sea Monsters. I think it was called like Walking with Sea Monsters. But anyway, Nigel Marven was in it, and this guy was in it as well. And this is basically the exact same color scheme as the Dunkleosteus in that show. I really like it. Like this one row of scoots, like going down the tail. I don't know why, but that's kind of off-putting to me. But just really that. The rest of it, I think, looks very, very nice. It has the kind of hump thing on the back, which would have been there because that's with the armor. Which actually, with Dunkleosteus, all we have of it is its armored head. Its head, its jaw, and then this one big plate of armor right there. Other than that, we haven't found any of this animal. We only know what it looks like, or generally what it would have looked like from related animals. But it looks very nice. It's got the reddish color again. It's got a black eye, like CollectA seem to basically always do. They just give it a black eye, which I am fine with. But anyway, that is CollectA 2018 so far. As good as 2017? Not yet, at least. But still looks like they're making decent figures. And again, CollectA haven't even released them all. There's still more coming out. They can still make it up. Who knows? But anyway, that's my thoughts on CollectA 2018. Dino Man, out.